Pisces. Welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot. My name is Carol, and I want to welcome you if you just found my channel. It is a fairly new channel. I started in December 2023, and if you're coming back, I want to welcome you again. In today's reading, we're going to be doing some inner child healing. And the inner child is a part of us that has been hidden away for years. And the inner child holds our belief systems, our memories, and all the big emotions that we had as a child that would have been, too big for us to handle. And so this inner child in us holds them. They're emotions like fear and shame and grief and hopelessness. So this unhealed part of us, our inner child, can cause a lot of problems if we don't pay attention to them. And they're that part of us that will cause us to seek, love in all the wrong places. They're the part of us that will attract people into our spaces that, will continue to abandon us or sabotage our goals. And it's just kind of left us going like, I don't understand. Why are these patterns keep showing up in my life? And it's because we have unhealed parts of us, our inner children, that need to be healed. So it really is important that we make an effort to understand the needs of our inner child so that we can start to calm and lessen the intrusions that they're having in our daily life and all of our relationships, whether they be intimate relationships, people at work even, siblings, family members. And so we need to start to build this relationship with our inner child. And we do that by having a conversation with them, really, to start to find out, what do they need? What do they need to heal? Well, in order to heal, our inner children need to be listened to, they need to be heard, and they need to be understood. And they need you to make that known to them. So as you start to begin to build this relationship with them and begin to listen to them and understand what their needs are, it really is something that becomes an ultimate form of self-care for yourself, because you're meeting your own needs as you meet their needs. So, and it really makes you the priority in all of your relationships with everyone. And so let's begin this conversation with your inner child. Now, when I decided to sit down and, what decks could I use for this reading that would really make our inner children feel safe enough to come out and speak to us in this reading? And so I found a tarot deck that was a recent one that was that I purchased, and it's Radleigh Valentine's Animal Guides, because I thought that I wanted to pick a deck that had animals in it, because all little kids love animals, and so I wanted something that they could relate to. So I'm gonna start with that deck, and then I'm gonna clarify that with the Rider-Waite deck. And then I'm going to end with an oracle card, and it's going to be a spirit animal for us, right? So it'll be Colette Baron-Reid's spirit animal deck, which I love. And so it's really going to be focused around animals. In that, like I said, it's really going to, I want your inner child to feel comfortable in a setting where they'll come out and they're going to speak to us. And so in this reading, what we're going to do is first of all, we're going to ask your inner child, what does your inner child need right now? And then we're going to ask them and then we're going to look at how is this affecting your daily life, your relationships right now? And then finally, we're going to look at, well, how can you help your inner child heal right now? And that's the important part, right? And then I'll end it with a couple videos for you from my other channel called Carol Cares. And those are going to be videos that are going to really get you going and on your way to starting to connect and build a relationship with your inner child. So let's get started, Pisces. I'm going to ask the tarot right now, what does your inner child need right now from you? What does your inner child? One card, please. What does your inner child need from you right now? All right, the Four of Air, the beautiful koala card. Favorite animal of my daughter. One of my daughters. All right, the Four of Air. So that's Four of Swords. Four of Swords. Okay, so how is this affecting you in your relationships? How is this affecting you and your relationships? One card, please. Justice card. And finally, how can you help your inner child heal right now? I'm going to take this one. The Four of Water, the Tortoise card. The Four of Water, and that was the Four of Cups. And this Justice card was the Elephant. Forgot to mention that one. All right, so let's put these away, and then we'll go to the Rider-Waite deck, and I remember to pull an oracle card for you at the end. Yeah, so let's have 3 cards. Ask Tarot right now for 3 cards for clarification for this Four of Swords, this Four of Air. 3 cards, please. Just one more time here. Okay, 3 cards for koala for the Four of Air. Okay, and 2. The Seven of Wands. Chariot in reverse. One more. Four of Cups. And the Justice card. Three cards for clarification for the Justice. The Emperor. And the Two of Swords in reverse. And one more here. One more card for the Justice card. The High Priestess. Number 2 Major Arcana card. So, interesting. Got 2 Major Arcana cards here in how's this affecting your relationship. So, okay, I'll talk about that in a second. All right, 3 cards here for the Four of Water, the Four of Emotions. The Five of Swords. How can you help them heal? Too many. Shuffle them over here, maybe it's easier. 2 more, please. Oh. Okay. You have the Queen of Swords. Another sword. And Star. Star card. Okay, yeah, I did say that you had, need this little sheet so I don't forget. Yeah, and how is this affecting you in your relationships? I did say that you had 2 Major Arcana cards here, so it looks like, you know, there's some big energies here, how it's affecting your relationship. And that tells me that it's, you know, significant influence on it, on your relationships. Okay, so let's begin with the Four of Air card. This is this koala card, and I like the little picture they've shown here. This is the Four of Swords, and Swords has everything to do with our mental energy, our mental belief systems, our thought patterns, all that, the things we think about ourselves, or all the things we tell ourselves. And when, we do a lot of spinning sometimes. Well, your inner child right now needs some rest. Is very exhausted. Very, very exhausted. And so your inner child needs some rest, needs some calmness. I don't know. You would know, it's a general reading, but sometimes we just get on this hamster wheel, and we keep going and going and going. I actually got caught up in that last week, actually. I got on that hamster wheel and I didn't notice I was getting caught up in it. And I paid for it. It comes out physically in you, and you don't realize it until you kind of hit the wall. And so this card is coming up saying it's this mental energy, this spinning that's going on in your head. You need some rest. And I'm seeing here that you're in a situation. This is in reverse here. So the Seven of Wands tells me that in an upright position, this is an individual, and this is my favorite card in the deck. It's an individual that is battling all these people below him, very much alone, very lonely, feeling like they're not supported, feeling like they're not validated. And this is what's going on with your inner child right now. And this is blocked, like it's in reverse, and so you're not seeing how much your inner child when they were younger, I'm going to say, was very much invalidated, was not supported, not seen, not heard, not listened to, not understood. And this is your chance to finally get quiet and get still, and to start to feel and hear what it was like as an inner child, your inner child that was not supported, not validated, not heard. Because they have big emotions that are attached to all those memories. And the Chariot card comes right underneath that, and it's in reverse. And the Chariot speaks about control. This individual here, charioteer, who's driving these two sphinxes, and he has no reins, and he's kind of using his mind to control them, hoping as hell that they don't go in their separate ways. And he's very stone-like. He's been doing this for a long time. He's turning into his chariot here, and this is in reverse here. So I'm seeing that for a long time. A long time. Because I did say at the beginning that our inner child had been hidden away for years. And so I'm seeing that for a long time you've tried to control these feelings of your inner child, of feeling neglected, of feeling not heard, not listened to when you are unheard when you're a child. And you've really pushed them down. And but you're tired. You're really tired. And you've tried to control it by ignoring them. And that's what makes you tired, is when you try to ignore them. Because they keep wanting to come up. Your inner children, the emotions, they keep wanting to come up from your shadow. And you just push it right back down. And that's what makes you tired. It's so much energy to try to keep pushing it, controlling it. And this, and I can see here that, there's these 3 cups here. This individual has, these are the emotions. Cups are emotions. Has his arms crossed. And he's quite satisfied with 3 cups. He's quite satisfied with those emotions. Doesn't want to feel anymore. Become quite stagnant. But the universe over here is like offering him another. This is an offer from the universe. It's like an Ace of Cups right here. And it's saying like, do you want to feel again? Do you want to start feeling again? Do you want to go a little bit deeper here with your emotions? And the individual's going, no, good. No thanks. And so everything, I just feel this sense of this mental energy of yours that has gone into keeping everything down. And your inner child's tired because they've been fighting for a long time for your attention. And they have something to tell you because they weren't validated or heard or listened to when they were younger. These people here below them. And they want your attention. So your inner child is really calling you right now. They have some emotions to share. And so, how is this affecting you, your daily life, your relationships around you? You have the Justice card. The Justice talks about, in the Rider-Waite deck, it has a balance and it has also a sword. I don't know if I don't see a sword here. But I see the balance scale. I'm going to say that in your relationships, things are not equal. They're not give and take. They're not balanced. Because when we're not balanced, when we're not healed, when our inner child isn't healed, then we bring that into our relationships. We continue to attract people that may abandon us. We're going to continue to attract people that invalidate us, that don't support us, don't hear us. And so I'm seeing that your relationships, people around you are the same. People that you're meeting, you're finding probably that they're not giving you what you think you need. And it's a question of, are these authentic relationships? Justice is bringing authenticity to relationships. And so I'm going to say that your relationships aren't balanced. They're not supporting. They're not supportive relationships. They're not authentic. They're not what you want them to be. And sometimes we can get into this spiral and we can get into patterns where we just keep attracting the same type of people because we're not healing what our inner children need to heal, what we have to help them heal. And the Emperor card comes here with this Justice card, and the Emperor is, I call him Mr. Emperor. You know, he's quite confident in his chair. He's number 4. He's the first major arcana card here. So he's a big universal force here that's having. This is a big influence on what's happening with you here. That's what's saying about your relationships and how it's affecting them. Mr. Emperor has been ruling for a long time. He's, sitting in this chair. He's old and he's, almost cemented, probably becoming cement like his chair. He rules the society behind him. He makes the rules. He makes the laws. And so I feel here that this is very much tells me, because it's relationships and how it's affecting you, it seems like there's very much, where you believe that this is the way that things are supposed to be. This is how people are supposed to treat me, and this is how it's supposed to be. And so it's kind of like your relationships and your daily life is kind of run by these imaginary rules of society. And this is the way you've looked at things, because I can see here that because you're so blocked with your emotions and your inner child is so blocked, and there needs to be this relationship that needs to start to take place, what's happened is that you've kind of formed in your head this imaginary thing of what a relationship is really supposed to be, because society told you that it's supposed to be like this. And sometimes when we have these imaginary rules around what relationships are supposed to be, we can get really disappointed. And we continue to, like I talked about patterns, where we continue to try to find that person that's going to validate us, that's going to support us, because this is kind of what you formed in your head, that you're just trying to keep finding that one person, that because you formed that, you in your head you believe that this is what your relationships are supposed to be like, and this is what this person is supposed to bring you. And so these patterns continue and repeat themselves, because Mr. Emperor says that's what a relationship's supposed to do or look like, and then in reverse comes this Two of Swords. And again, the Two of Swords is about mental energy in our head and making decisions. This is where you have a decision to make. And it really keeps you in a blindfolded place. It really keeps you in a stuck place. And this particular individual is stuck. They're not willing. They're not willing to make that decision because they're blindfolded. They can't even see that there is a decision to be made. And this is where I see this is in reverse for you. So you're in a position where you can't even see outside of this belief system that you have about what a relationship is supposed to be like. And it keeps showing up for you because you're thinking, this is what I'm searching for, that one person to validate me. I'm searching for that one person to love me. I'm searching for that. And it could be it doesn't have to be an intimate partner. It can be a friend where you keep trying to find that friend that's going to feed you, that's going to understand you, that's going to hear you. But that can only happen until you start to hear and validate your inner child. And the last card that comes up here is the High Priestess and how this affects your relationship. The High Priestess is a major arcana card. And like I said, she's the second one here, so it's huge. This is a huge influence on what's happening here. And she's all about knowing our inner wisdom, our inner guidance. Just knowing what's right, what's wrong. She has that intuitive sense. She has an inner guidance. She knows which way to go. And I'm going to say that because this card is in reverse. To make a decision, you're really having a difficult time of, even knowing of what decision to make. Like it's how to get out of this pattern. You're stuck in patterns with your relationships and you don't know how to get out of it. But you have this inner wisdom here. She is your inner wisdom that you have. And I'm not sure if you are consulting with your inner self, going inwards and finding out and listening to your intuition, because you have your blindfold on, because you're stuck in that pattern. And so I'm really seeing here that there needs to be a breakthrough for you to break these patterns, to break, these same people coming into your life and showing up in your space and you don't know why. You're just in that pattern, and I can see why you're really tired, because it's not authentic. They're not authentic relationships, and yet you keep chasing them, and yet they keep coming, your way. But it's kind of like a universe thing where it says, listen here, it's time to start finding out what your inner child needs and start to heal. Start to heal this. Get quiet. And how are we going to heal this? Here is the Four of Water. This is the Four of Cups. Well, the Four of Cups speaks about emotions. This is the cup when you have this individual in the Rider-Waite has, you've had 3 cups and you've got your 3 cups of emotions lined up here and you're quite content with that. You don't want to go any further. It's an individual that really doesn't want to rock the boat anymore, doesn't want to feel. And yet there's this 4th cup that comes in from the universe and says, do you not think it's time to feel again? And this is what the 4 cups card is. It's like, it's time. It's time now to feel again. It's time now to take that cup from the universe and feel again. I know that you've put everything away. Well, we talked about the 4 cups. I'm sorry, it came up right here and it's coming up again. Yeah, so we talked about the 4 cups. Your inner child wants you to feel again. Your inner child wants to feel those big emotions. And that's how you're going to heal your child. It's magical that this is what your inner child wants, needs, and this is how you're going to heal them. It's beautiful. 4 cups, 4 cups. You're going to heal them by feeling, by starting to feel again. And the first card here that comes up, and this is the card, this is the 5 of Swords. And the 5 of Swords, again, mental energy. Swords is about your mental energy, your belief systems. You have this individual here that's just won this battle. Quite proud of himself. He's collected a few swords on the way. I call this my bullying card. In the background, a little individual here. He's the victim. He's the bully's victim. And anything I know, about bullies is that, what I know about bullies is that they carry a lot of shame. A lot of shame. And the reason why they have victims is because they want to take their shame and give it to them. Because the bully's shame, they got their shame from adults. And so this is my card of shame. Shame. So I have to take a drink here. This is my card. And so the emotion that's coming up here for you to feel is that feeling of unworthiness. And we get that feeling of unworthiness when we were told as a young person, when we weren't validated, when we weren't heard, when we weren't understood, when we weren't listened to. You feel unworthy. You have a lot of shame. When that happens, people have a lot of shame. And so the first emotion I'm seeing that coming up here is you have a lot of unworthiness. You were dealt a lot of shame. And Queen of Swords comes up right after. And the Queen talks about the feminine side to us. We all have a feminine side and we all have a masculine side. Every single one of us. And the feminine's been really hidden for decades, but she's starting to show herself now. And she's all about the sword of authenticity, of who you really are. Because your inner child and you believe that you're very unworthy. You have a lot of shame. And this Queen here wants you to get back to who you really are. She wants to cut through the bullshit of everything you've been told when you were younger and find out who you really are. And the way that you're going to do that is to dip your toe in that water. And you're going to start to heal. You're going to start to feel. You're going to allow those emotions, and in particular, your shame and your grief. And you're going to allow them to heal. And the way that I know I'm healing my own shame, and this card reminds me of it, this card that I talked about, my shame card. This individual that's covering his face like this. Whenever I'm grieving, and if I have my hand on my face, I know it's shame. And that's the sign of shame, is to cover yourself because you're feeling very unworthy, invalidated, not noticed. And a little kid will go and hide, right? Because they don't know what to do with these big emotions. And so it really is time for you to get at this emotions, in particular your unworthiness, and find out who you are. Find out who's buried underneath all that shame. And so let's end with a card for you, Pisces. A spirit animal card for you. And you got a beautiful bird for your inner child. You have the hawk spirit. A hawk. Let spirit be your guide. Flying high above the landscape, the hawk sees both the big picture and the small details and doesn't miss anything. When hawk spirit arrives, you are called to pay close attention to messages from spirit that can appear anywhere in any form. Listen to your intuition and keep your eyes open for meaningful coincidences. And we talked about your intuition here. The High Priestess card came up for you. Hawk Spirit asks you not to dismiss the signs that Spirit is sending to guide you. Have you been hearing the same word or song or coming across the same symbol? Pay attention to the animals that appear for you and connect with their symbolism. Spirit wants to communicate and reaches out again and again. When hawk spirit appears, it is a time to listen. And that's what we do when we want to hear our inner children. It's time to listen to them. And so the best way that I do it is I ground into my body so I can feel the emotions, and then I journal. That's how I get in contact with my inner child, because journaling gives them a voice, and they're going to tell you who you are. They're going to tell you what they need. And so I'm going to leave you those 2 videos at the end on grounding and journaling, and I'll talk soon, Pisces. Bye-bye.